Hello and welcome back to our online session series. In this episode and subsequent episodes, we'll be going through some extra bits such as being able to kick players from the lobby and then later on from the game. So let's get started with what we're going to do here. So the idea is that we have these player cards spawning on the left hand side of the screen when the player joins the match. And when they're there, we want the host to be able to click on these player cards to bring up some options. One of those options will be to kick the player from the lobby. So let's have a look at how to do this. First of all, we need to create the widget that we want to show. So let's create a new user widget. And we'll call this one player card menu. And on here, we're just going to have a very simple horizontal box. Actually, no, we'll do vertical box. We'll do vertical box. Vertical box. Oh, get rid of the canvas panel. We don't need that. So we'll just drag the vertical box in, and in there are going to be the various options that you can do with the player card. So one option, put a button in, is going to be kick. So put button in with some text. Obviously, if you can use an icon, if you want to use an icon instead of text, no problem. And this button here, I'm just going to change the background color here to be black, 0.85 for alpha. And the text we can make say kick player from lobby. And we're going to put some padding around this, so put some 10 padding around it, maybe 20. I'll be alright. And now we've got this button here from kick player from lobby. That's it. So next we need to make the button have a name. So here we go, kick button. And then we'll hit compile and save. So when it appears on the screen, it will look like this. Okay. So what I need to do now is get it to appear on the screen. So at the moment, our lobby screen looks like this. Okay, got the canvas panel and we've got all of its contents here. Now I want to add it to the canvas panel, this player menu card menu. So when we click on it, it appears where the player card is. So we're going to make the canvas panel editable. So this one a HUD canvas, or menu canvas we'll call it, canvas. And we'll make it variable. And that's because we need to reference it when we want to add the card to it later. Save and close that. Next we're going to go to the player card. And on the player card, we're going to set up a button on here to allow us to click on it. So we're going to click on the horizontal box, right click, and wrap with a button. In this button, we're going to change the background color to have no alpha, so it's completely see-through. And I'm going to tell its contents, the horizontal box here, be stretched. Again, horizontal alignment and vertical alignment. File and save that. On the button, we're going to name this button player card button. Okay, now we're going to go to the graph of this. And on the player card button on your variable list, you want to click on the on-clicked event, add it. And in here, we need to basically tell the HUD that, hey, we've clicked on a card here. So we'll make an event dispatcher, and this is going to be called player card selected. I'm going to drag that out and do call. And the player card we want to select here, we'll have to go through and put the information on this. So on the player card selected, add a new parameter to the inputs. And we'll call this one player info. And this will be structure for the player info. File that, and then drag in your player info variable that's on the player card, and then plug your player card button into here. So we save all that, come out of there, and then I want to go back to my lobby host screen and go to the graph. And in here, we've got the update player list going on here. So as the update playlist goes through and creates these player card widgets, we're going to take the return value and bind event to player card selected. And this is going to show a menu. So we need to drag out from the event pin and do custom event and this one will be called show player card menu. From there, we're going to drag out and create widget, and this widget is going to be our player card menu, and on that we actually need to make the player info pass through onto that player card. So let's go to the player card, and that's the menu there, and we want to go to the graph and add that variable to it, player info, and that'll be the player info struct. This struct needs to be editable, exposed on spawn to be able to add it to this here when we refresh it. There you go. Now we can plug in player info and pass that through. So when we click on the player card, it's going to show the menu, and when it does that, it's going to pass through what information it had on the card to the menu, which is important because we need to be able to click on these buttons. So when we do kick from player from lobby, it knows what player the button is kicking. So that will create the widget. We then want to add this to our canvas. So I'll take the menu canvas out and do add child to canvas, and the return value will go into the content there. Then we want to take the return value and we need to set its size appropriately. So set auto size and tick it through. Then I need to change its location so it appears where the mouse is. So I'm going to get the mouse position on viewport, plug that in, and then from this return value we're going to do set position, and I'm just going to plug that into there. File and save that. So let's see if this menu pops up. Play and post match and then join match. There we go. And there's the player name now. Click on here and there's my menu. Click play from lobby or whatever. So as I'm clicking multiple times, you can see it adding the menu again and again and again. So what we're going to do here is go back to the lobby host screen. Click on the graph, and on here we're going to promote this to a variable, this widget. And this would be the player card menu. Like so. And what we want to do at the start, when we call show player card menu, we want to call a function to hide the existing player card menu if it exists. So we're going to create another event or function. Let's do a function. We call this one hide player card menu. And for this, we need to drag out our player card menu reference that we just made and convert that to a validated get. And because we only want to hide it if it's actually there. So if it's here, we want to take the player card menu and do remove from parent. Compile and save that. Then I want to call this function over on the start of my show player card. So let's just move that across here and call the hide player card menu. So now let's test that out in game. And for this, I'm just going to click on the host player card. We'll obviously make it so you can't kick yourself out of it, but there you go. And if I click again, it'll remove the old one and add the new one. Okay. So next we need to make it so this button knows who we're talking about. So next we need to make the menu disappear if it is expired amount of time. So we're going to go to the player card menu widget, go to the graph, and on an event construct, we're going to take this out and do set timer by event. And the event we're going to drag down, custom, is we'll call this one menu timeout. And we can, from there, do remove from parent. And that'll clear the menu from the screen. And the time here is the timeout time you want to give it. So will say if you haven't clicked on anything for 5 seconds, actually we'll do 3 seconds, okay, it'll do the timeout. Now I don't want it to do this, so I only want it to do this if I unhovered the button. So on the kick button here, I want to click on hovered, and I want it not to disappear if I'm hovering over the button. Okay, so I'm going to take the timer return value, promote that to a variable, we'll get timeout timer, and on hovered we're going to take the timeout timer and clear and invalidate that timer. I then want to add the unhovered. So when I leave the button, I'm going to go down here and do this. So if I don't hover the button again, it'll set the timer, and after 3 seconds it will move unless I'm hovering over the button again. So let's see if that works fine for our game. Host match, host, and I'm hovering over the button. After 3 seconds it shouldn't go anywhere. I'll move off the button. There you go. So you get a timeout on it. Okay. So next thing we want to do is we need to make sure the player info is storing with the character that is being controlled by the controller. So at the moment our game mode is collecting the players joining the match and setting up their player info structs as such based upon their controller. So what I'm going to do is go to their controller, and on the controller there's a function you can override called onPossess. So when this controller spawned and has got a pawn it is now possessing, we're going to take this and set it to the player info. So we're going to get player info, and then from there we're going to do set members in player info struct, and we're going to, on the right hand side, going to tick the character pin. Now for this, our character pin is a character object reference. However, the possess pawn is a pawn reference, therefore you can't plug it in. Now we could cast it if we wanted to, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to change the struct to be a pawn instead. So I'm going to compile and save everything, and open up the player info struct. And this is fine because nothing at the moment is using that character here, so I can change that to pawn and it should be okay. Save that and then close that. Now if I turn on character again, I should be able to plug the pawn into it. So now we're setting it to the player info on the controller. We then need to tell the game mode to update its player list, because remember from previously we made on our game mode this update player list function, which goes through connected players, removes all that information and re-adds it based with the new updated information. So that's what we're going to be doing. Is to get the game mode, and then from the game mode we're going to cast to our lobby game mode, and from there for the update player lists. So to test that this actually has worked, what we're going to do is make it so that the menu, when it spawns, player card menu, we're going to make it print out the name of the player that we are clicking on. So I'm going to go to the graph, and on the construct here we're going to say print string, and we're going to print out the player info, split that and put in the player info character. Okay, so now try this out. I join match. Okay, now I'll click on the player name. You can see I've got lobby character 1. Server won't have a character, but that's fine because it will be using that later to make it so that it can't show the menu or kick yourself out of the game. But now you can see the kick player for menu comes up with player 1 and the name. On the character side, on the client side, sorry, you'll find that you can't click on these things. Okay, they don't give any menu, and that's because we put the on button event dispatcher on the lobby host screen, not the client screen. This is why it's important to put it on the lobby host screen rather than individually on the cards, because you don't want the client version of the cards doing the same thing. So now the host can click and show a menu to click the player from the lobby. So we're going to end it there, and in the next episode what we're going to do is we're going to go through the process of actually accomplishing this kick player from lobby, showing a confirmation window for the host so they can confirm that they actually want to do this, and when the client gets kicked out, they'll be kicked out back to the menu, and they'll get also sent a message saying you were kicked from the game. Okay, so if you want to watch that next episode right now, head over to patreon.com/Ryan Laley. You can watch that part plus all my other videos early before everyone else from just $1 a month. I want to say a massive thank you to all my patrons and YouTube members for their continued support, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye everyone.